Greg Ryan here. Last week we talked a little bit about the 5 things that it took to get through an exercise program and make it stick. If you didn't get to see this, go to gregryanfitness.com, resolutionsblog.com, or resolutions.bz, and you'll get all the information you want on this synergistic program that I guarantee you, after 25 years of experience, will keep you going. Now, I wrote a book a few years ago called Just Move It, and this had to do with with your exercise program on synergizing it and working smart. And I was a professional bodybuilder at the age of 21. I started working out when I was 17, and I knew nothing about exercise. But one thing I did know is I wanted to work smart. I didn't want to work hard like the rest of the other guys. So I'm going to give you real quick here, uncut version of some of the things that I wrote in my book, Just Move It. So if you forgive me for looking at my own book for some notes, I appreciate it. First thing I want to talk about is the 3 main elements of keeping your exercise program going. And you maybe have heard these things before, but one of the things that I have learned, that first of all, I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. It took a long time for me to learn all these things. And so what I'd like to teach you today is some of the basic 3 magic things that I have learned that's kept me going. Let's see, 25 years, I've averaged 5 days a week on my exercise programs. I didn't have very much of a discipline when I started working out, but through these 3 basic things that I'm going to teach you that you can find in my book, Just Move It, these will keep you going. This will take you to a different level in your exercise program. This has taken me probably millions of dollars to figure out over time and effort. So you need to grab a piece of paper, take some notes, because this is really, really important. A lot of times when it comes to exercising, people complicate it way too much. I'm a simple man. It doesn't take much, just here and there. If it was more confusing, I couldn't do it. Okay? So the first thing I want to teach you, I hope you're listening, okay, is a matter of consistency. When I first started exercising, I didn't think that I was going to be a professional bodybuilder at 21. I didn't think that I was going to write 11 books by the time I was 45 years old. I didn't think that I would have 2 companies that are very successful. All I knew was if I kept doing it one day further, something would happen. One day more. And there was times that I just didn't want to exercise. I hated it. There's times now I don't want to exercise. But I believe that if I just do it for today, just one more day, I can do it. Then I go through the next day. And just one more day, and it gets me to here. And just one more day. And sooner or later, what happens is I don't want to go back to the old person that I was. I was a fat, no self-esteem kind of guy. So the first principle that you need to write down in any exercise program, no matter what, is consistency. Even if it's just one day a week, be consistent with one day a week. If it's 2 days a week, be consistent with that. If it's 3 days a week, be consistent with that. Your body needs to convince your mind that you're serious with this. Take New Year's resolutions, for example. What do? We start January 1st. We hadn't exercised hardly a day in our life until January 1st. So what do? We are inconsistent. Your body goes, you're not going to be consistent. You're not going to be serious about this. And it stops, and it loses its motivation. So again, the first thing that we want to do in any exercise program, any length of time, is be consistent. Number 2, the thing that I found out is that your body adapts to your workouts. I, in all these years, have never had the same workout twice in a row. Believe it or not. Now, I'm not talking about changing things up, but I'm talking about putting a little bit of variety into your workouts. Most people, one of the biggest mistakes that they made is their bodies get used to their workouts. So what do? They go in, and it knows it's going to get on the treadmill for 30 minutes at level 3, or knows it's going to get on the bench press and do this amount of weight for 3 sets at so many reps, or goes on the elliptical machine and does the interval training. Whatever it is, the body gets used to it. So the second principle that I want you to learn is variety. Variety. What does variety mean? Variety means change things up. Now this might take a little bit of you getting out of your comfort zone, but you need to do it. You need to think ahead a little bit on your exercising. Now I'm not talking about change things up totally every single day, because at the end of the year or end of the month, you'll be totally confused. And I might come back a year later and I might ask you what worked, and you'll go, yeah, I'm not quite sure what worked. So You don't have to change it up every single time. However, you need to have some variety. So what that does, your body goes, hey, what's going on here? And it forces it to grow. It forces it to burn body fat. It forces it to lower your BMI and all that stuff. Okay? So, first one was consistency. The second one is variety. Now, what do you think the third one might be? Yeah, you guessed it. Efficiency. You have to work out smart versus hard. It's not a matter of, well, if I burn this many calories, this amount of calories is even more, is even better. It doesn't work that way. I remember when I first started competing at a national level in bodybuilding, I thought the more I did, the better off I was. I figured if I'd cut out my fat almost to nothing, then that was better. Not true. I used to work out with Mr. Universe years ago, and he taught me that more was not better. But he did teach me to work out smart. For instance, when it comes to your weight training exercises, always do your major muscle groups first. What are your major muscle groups? Your chest muscles, your back muscles, and your leg muscles. Those are the three major muscle groups. You always want to do those first in any particular workout program. And if you want to learn a little bit more about how to write a perfect exercise program, go to my website and email me at greg@resolutions.bz, and I'll give you all the information you need to make a perfect exercise program to bring out the champion in you. Now, what were the three? Consistency, variety, and efficiency. We talked a little bit about the efficiency on the weight training. Now let's talk about the efficiency on the cardiovascular training. It's very important that you monitor your heart rate. It's very important that you get your heart rate up to a certain level for a certain period of time. It's not always about, it's not always about the length of the program. It's about the efficiency. Now here's the psychological approach to this, is that you do not want this to become a job. When exercising becomes a job, you will quit. I've seen it happen over and over and over again. But if you be consistent, you put some variety in your workout, and you're efficient in your workout, you might be surprised how quickly the results come. So those are the three things. There's $1 million worth of advice for you. Take it. Don't just listen to it and do nothing with it. Take that advice. If you need more advice on working on efficiently or synergizing your workout, go to my website at resolutions.bz and grab one of my books called Just Move It. You can digitally download it and you can get it within 2 minutes. Thanks.